Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, New England Gardening here. I was just out wrapping some twine against these snow peas, get them pointed in the right direction to grab onto this fencing. Some of them have already done that, but others need coaxing. But while I was out here, I was looking at the panels to see how they fared with these high winds that we've had on the two storms that came through. And what happens is, well, for instance, here's the panel that I used to block the entrance here. This is the one that was on the roof. Even though I had a hole drilled in here with a washer holding it, it popped out of the clips, and then, of course, it's more difficult to get past the bolt with the washer on it, but it managed to rip through. And yeah, the clips, they don't secure these panels, and there are a lot of different techniques people have used. I think if you Google Harbor Freight greenhouse improvements, there's a blog that will come up, and some people show you some of the improvements that they've done to reinforce and help secure the panels. But if you have the Harbor Freight greenhouse, you become familiar with these clips that hold in these panels, and there's a little bit of a notch in these vertical supports on the Harbor Freight greenhouse, and the clips fit in there, and then this section here secures the panel in. But the panel in high winds can bow out, push past these clips, and just, you know, you'll lose your panel, or it goes into the worst, best case scenario, goes just into the neighbor's yard. But what I did on the side panels, because there's vertical supports, horizontal supports too, on the sides walls, I drilled these holes, and you can see here I have, I got these from Griffin Greenhouse. It's these washers with a grommet on the side, on one side, and they're convex, I guess. And they're made specifically for securing polycarbonate panels. So I drilled a hole, and then I put a foam washer, because it bows in. If you tighten it, it'll go up against that support, and it will probably rub against the polycarbonate and sort of wear it thin, I would imagine, over time. Because even with these bolts, this one's loose. I need to put Loctite on them, because I'm sure the greenhouse probably has, it moves. You know, it's in the wind, and everything is vibrating. So even the nuts on these bolts come loose. I've had them fall out from the bolts that I have on the roof. But before I ramble on here, so that's what I did. But the weak part is the bottom. So the bottom, you know, it can bow out. It can go past these clips or blow out the clip, and then it'll bend. You know, where it's more difficult to break this, but it might just break the polycarbonate, like it did with the top roof panel. So I forgot what I was going to do. There's a little bit of a lip on this bottom piece of aluminum, but there's not enough room to drill a hole and be pretty weak. So I was going to grind a little bit of this off here, make a flat on this washer, and then I would be able to drill a hole and secure that on the top and the bottom. But I started thinking, because the way these vertical supports are made, there's a lip on these for the clip, these metal clips to fit in. And I said, well, what if I secure a piece of wood in there like this? And it really requires no mechanical fastener. It just squeezes in there. And I think I seen this on somebody else's Harbor Freight greenhouse, but they were just showing the greenhouse. They weren't explaining anything. They were just showing their garden, I think, in the greenhouse. I initially was thinking of also getting some aluminum stock from Home Depot, but then I would be drilling holes too, so that's a lot more work. So I found this in the cellar area. This is Home Depot stock. This is 1 by 2 by 8, and I have a planer, so I just had to figure out. You might have to customize these per section, but yeah, I just plane this down so it just fits in, and it squeezes. It probably adds some rigidity too to the greenhouse, just like that. And if you put another one on the other side together, that panel is not going out. The wind's picking up again. I thought we were through with the wind, but yeah, that's how I could secure the bottom. Now the only thing is this is just, you know, untreated wood. I don't know if treated wood might react with the polycarbonate and melt it, or I don't know what. So probably have to paint these. So I don't know the labor involved. So, you know, it's the solutions. The aluminum, I forget what the cost is, but they're not, you know, inexpensive. You're going to have to cut them to size. I have these washers already. I have to figure out a way to grind these down and then hold it with a pair of pliers or something like that. Grind it down and then put one here, I guess. 2 per panel. And then it would be a total of 4 per panel, since I've already done the centers. And yeah, so what I had to do is, if you look at the top here, see how it's bowed out? You have to actually remove the clip. If I can try to do this with one, see how that comes out like that? And then push this back in, because there is pressure on the polycarbonate panel, and put the clip back in. So that's what I was doing. But the same thing on the top here, there's a lip that you could put another one of these washers in to secure that. You could silicone it in also, but you know, I can't imagine how many tubes of silicone you'd have to use. And then if you needed to replace a panel, that would be a mess and real difficult to get out again. But yeah, let's take a look on the inside what I'm talking about here. I don't want this running too long. So yeah, the top panels are a different story. They're weaker because there's only one spot that I was able to put the washer in. And here comes the helicopter. So you can see there, that just pressed right out, and then it bent. And I don't know how it pulled out, but it was able to pull out past the washer. Let me wait till this helicopter goes by. Alright, so here's the inside, and you can see the way this is constructed. There's going to be a gap here. So, you know, you can either have this bowed in, or you put that little rubber foam that I have that had, I forget what this is for. It's for like weather stripping for air conditioning units or something like that. It has tape on one side. You peel the backing off, and this it's sticky on one side. But I just saw, see, one of these came. I just found one of these, and they work their way through. So here's the little nut on the other side, and now the problem is, like I said, on the top, you can only secure it in the center, and that leaves, you know, you can double up on the clips. That's another thing I recommend, is you buy more clips. And but that's the weak spot, is the ends. Once the ends pull out, the wind just will fold the panel right in the center, fold it up like a card, and you know, and then it gets blown out. It'd be flapping, in the storm or in the wind, you have to go out there and just take it off, or just, let it proceed to break and fly wherever it's going to go. But yeah, I think the wood is a good option for the top. I can slide those pieces in and slide them off whenever I want to take the panel off for whatever reason and replace it. These panels are starting to look a little dingy. It was clouded up. Well, we had sun for a couple of minutes there, and that was it. So yeah, let me end this video. It probably went on too long. But yeah, I think that wood option works out. Now, whether or not I want to paint those and add more labor to it, and not everyone's going to have the ability to plane down. But you could rip these on a table saw, I'd imagine, to the right thickness with some practice, and that just fits right in there. I like that. The more I think about it, it's a more secured area. The panel, if I have this secure, it could pop out depending on hurricane force winds or whatever. At that point, if we have stronger winds than we had the last storm, I think it's hurricane force winds, but it survived that. It'd have to be like a tornado for this to go anywhere. With the addition of, I guess you use electrical conduit to make the frame more rigid, which I've been meaning to do, but yeah, here we go rambling again. This is a good option. I'm liking this. I kind of like the grommet, the washer too, but like I said, I have to grind these. Either I get one of those I get a grinding machine, or I get one of those discs that go into a miter saw and just cut it, I guess. But you have to figure out a way to secure this, otherwise your finger's going to be close to that. But yeah, I think I could slap some 2-in-1 paint on this from Home Depot and be all set to go with these. Yeah, I like these. Like I said, especially for the top panels. And then I'll be able to actually, you can put these anywhere. You can put any number of these. You can put one there. And it just stays right there. So yeah, let me end the video. It's just some thoughts since I was out here. That will really secure the panels, I think, and prevent this from happening. I think I can still reuse this panel. I know I had called up Harbor Freight, and I forget what they had quoted me for the price on these. So this is New England Gardening. Waiting for springtime here. I think it's in the lower 40s. It might be like 42 degrees. This is New England Gardening. Thanks for watching. Now I should mention on this 1x2x8 what I measured, or what I had to do to get this to fit. These aren't going to be the same. The front panels are different spacing. They're wider. But this is 23 3/16. And this will fit most of the panels, but there are some tolerances that make these so you have to, I think, either trim them shorter, a little bit shorter, maybe 1/8 of an inch, or they need to be a little bit longer by 1/8 of an inch. And for the most part, these are 1/2 inch. Almost looks like exactly a 1/2 inch. So I kind of like this option here. I don't know, like if you don't paint these, if they shrink or swell, and how long they would last. This is just, untreated pine, and like I said, could try treated lumber. I don't know if they make these 1x2x8s in treated lumber. Or you could rip some 2x4s, I guess. So I thought I'd mention that real quick after I did the video. I'll splice this in the middle somewhere or at the end.